Introduction. It doesn't matter if you run a well-established business or you are managing a startup. It doesn't matter how much of a budget you're working with. Like it or not, and believe it or not, the main way you can make people become aware of your company's brand and eventually consume the products or services your company offers is through advertising. Free advertising doesn't exist. Let's put it this way. You can't be in two places at once. If you're spending all this time and effort trying to brand and promote your business the free way, what if you're doing something else that produces 10 times the result? You cannot ignore Facebook ads. What's so awesome about Facebook ads, besides its relative low cost, is the technology behind it. Again, you may be operating with a fairly small budget. That's okay, because with Facebook ads, you can leverage the highly sophisticated social snooping and personal profiling technology Mark Zuckerberg brought to the table. Did you know that when you log into Facebook, you are legally giving them the right to figure you out? I know, it sounds creepy, but Facebook has so much technology it can figuratively get in your head. It is no surprise that a lot of people consume lots of random pieces of content on Facebook, only to find themselves, sooner or later, being shown ads that seem so personal. It's as if they're thinking about certain things and an ad would show up that matches those concerns, fears, or needs. There's nothing magical about this. This is a testament to just how robust Facebook's technology is. This training gives you a step-by-step walkthrough of the different ad opportunities currently available on the Facebook ad platform. Why choose Facebook ads? As you probably already know, there is no such thing as a perfect solution. Any option will have its own list of advantages and disadvantages. Facebook is not immune to this fact. The benefits of Facebook advertising. Facebook has a robust and powerful high-tech advertising targeting system. Facebook is still relatively cheap. Facebook has so much ad inventory that, depending on the kind of campaign you run, it is still very affordable compared to competing platforms like Google AdWords. Facebook helps you engage your customers. FB ads can also deliver the bottom line. Not only can Facebook help you stay relevant with your target audience members, but you can also plug in these ads to your actual sales funnel. They can, with the right strategy and the right sales funnel design, produce conversions. These are sales. These have an actual impact on your business's profitability. You can break into new markets. Your FB campaign gets people familiar enough with your new market focus that you don't come off as a completely new player. Facebook can drive leads. Facebook can boost your SEO. Since Google launched the Rank Brain algorithm update, click-throughs have begun to play an outsized role in Google's ranking algorithm. This means that when people are clicking your link over others, you're more likely to rise up the listings. How is this possible with Facebook? Well, since Facebook campaigns make people more familiar with your brand name, your domain name, as well as your site name, you're not a complete stranger. With everything else being equal, when people see your brand show up in search results, they're more likely to click it compared to a brand that they haven't heard of before. So this has an aggregate effect. And if this plays out with enough people over an extended period of time, don't be surprised if your organic rankings on Google also increase. Facebook can help you close deals. If you're running a retargeting campaign on Facebook, Facebook will show your ad to users who've been to your site. It's not unusual for them to realize that they still need whatever it was that they came to your site for. A lot of them come back to your website and close the deal. How effective is this strategy? According to many marketing surveys, up to 40% of buyers come back and buy because of this technology. You get access to a very robust advertising system. Facebook efficiently slices and dices its audience demographics. If you target one person and that person typically buys from you, you can use that person's profile and apply it to other people who share the same profile to hopefully get the same results. You don't get that robust kind of targeting technology and capabilities with other platforms. The downside of Facebook advertising. Here are just a few of the disadvantages Facebook has. It is by no means a perfect advertising platform, not even by a long shot. You need to be aware of its downsides. Facebook campaign success turns heavily on ad quality. If your ads are very vague, irrelevant, or simply send the wrong message, don't be all that shocked that they don't produce the results you're looking for. Beware of the competition. Unless you really put in the time, effort, and energy to create ads that will truly stand out, it's very easy for your competition to outclass you. You put your brand out there, and it can be exposed to negative comments on Facebook. As the old saying goes, bad news travels twice as fast as good news. For every good review you get, don't be surprised if you get 2 or more negative comments, since it's so easy to leave bad comments on Facebook. You need to put in the time to properly work Facebook's ad system. The bad news is that, like with any other advertising platform or tool, you have to put in the time to master the learning curve. The good news is, with the right guide, like this training, you can cut back on time and maximize efficiency. Also, by setting up the right ads to target the right eyeballs, you can also avoid some of the disadvantages listed above. The basics you need to know before creating your first Facebook ad campaign. Before you get your first campaign going, it's crucial that you have a good understanding of what makes up a Facebook ad. The basic parts of a Facebook ad: schedule, amount of time the ad will run for; budget, amount of money you're going to pay Facebook for running your ads throughout the life of that specific campaign; bid, maximum amount of money you will pay for people to take certain actions. You can pay for a view, a click, or even an email collector. The more targeted the action, the more you should expect to pay for that action. Placement, location of your Facebook ad. This can appear on mobile devices, or it can appear on certain spots on desktop devices. Device, select among mobile or desktop device types. Audience targeting, demographic breakdown of the people who could possibly see your ads. You can target demographic factors like age range, gender, location, and others. Creative. This term refers to the media, video, or image of the ad you're using to promote. What should you be aware of when making your ad? Focus more on why you're advertising in the first place. This gives you a big picture view that can help you increase your chances of success. What is your specific goal? Are you looking to just send more traffic to your site? Are you looking for more people to become aware of your brand, so when you do run other ad campaigns, they're more likely to click? Are you looking to build up a mailing list? You have to optimize your ads based on the outcome you desire. How well do I know my customers? If you want to maximize your return on investment, you need to find the tightest demographic that fits your product or service. It's more efficient that way. Am I reminding people, or am I advertising to them? As I mentioned in the previous video, Facebook has a retargeting technology. This allows you to remind people who have already visited your site about the value of your products and services. This is a very powerful tool to get people to come back to your website. Obviously, these people have already been exposed to your brand. Is this what you want to achieve, or are you looking to reach new eyeballs? These are people who have never been to your website, and you're just trying to introduce yourself. These are two totally different objectives. Make sure you're clear as to which one you're going to pursue. Know the basic terms of Facebook advertising. By getting up to speed on some basic online advertising lingo, you can increase your chances of setting up the right advertising campaign. Attribution. This refers to the different types of marketing channels consumers take notice of before they take action on the ad. Attribution is crucial because it lets marketers assemble a total collection of ad campaigns that need to be in place until they get the result that they're looking for. Conversions. Conversions boil down to actions that either immediately lead to dollars being added to your bank account or paves the way for that possibility. Cost per click, CPC. This is the amount of money paid on average for each click of your advertising link, measured by taking the full amount of money you spent and dividing it into the amount of ad clicks. Cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM. Take the amount of money you paid and divide it by 1,000 views. These types of campaigns pay for ad views, not for clicks or conversions. Frequency. How many times an ad showed up in front of eyeballs. Reach. Unlike frequency, this metric refers to how many different individuals your ad was broadcast to. Impressions. This refers to how many times your advertising appeared on users' screens for the first time. Click-through rate, CTR. The number of clicks that your ad got divided by how many times the ad was shown. Clicks. This refers to the actual unique clicks your ad got. Unique depends on how the tracking system defines a unique click. It could actually be the same person over several days, or in some cases, over 12-hour periods. What options does Facebook give you for targeting? As I mentioned several times in this training, Facebook can actually help you target your demographics in many ways. Here are just some of the many robust targeting options available on Facebook. Lookalike audience. This feature allows you to profile your existing audience or people who have already interacted with your brand. The hope is that once you figure out the profile of the person who's already interested in your brand and apply it to filter people who haven't seen your brand before, people who see your ads will behave like your known customer. Custom audience. To get a lookalike audience campaign going, you must first profile people who behave the way you want on your website. These are people who enter their email addresses, buy stuff, or do things that add to your bottom line. You set up a Facebook pixel to create a custom audience so it would profile people doing the kinds of things you want new customers to do on your website. Connections. This enables you to limit or set up the relationship with the new eyeballs you're advertising to. Maybe they are interested in an event. Maybe they use a certain app. Maybe they've gone to a Facebook page. Or maybe they're friends with people who already liked your stuff. Connections is a great way of targeting people who had some prior contact with your brand or know people who do. Generally speaking, people who share the same interests tend to be friends or have some personal connection. Behaviors. You can target people who use certain devices or who have bought certain things. Language. This is pretty self-explanatory. You can target the main language of people exposed to your ad. This is very helpful because if your ad is in English, yet you're targeting the majority of a non-English speaking country, you might have very low clicks and even lower conversion. Age and gender. You can target people based on whether they're male or female, as well as their age ranges. Location. You can target people based on their zip code, city or town, state or province, or country. For the purposes of this training, we're going to focus primarily on Facebook Ads Manager. How does Facebook's ad system operate? As you can probably already tell, Facebook has a lot of users and this creates a lot of ad inventory. After all, when a user loads many different pages as they check out different types of content on Facebook, these pages can be used to show ads. This is what makes up Facebook's ad inventory. Bidding system. Facebook will look at your targeting criteria and match it up with all the other targeting criteria of other advertisers. Once they find advertisers targeting the same type of people, they would then look at what is the maximum amount of money you're willing to spend for every click. These are then compared against other bids in a real-time auction that plays out every single second. The good news? You may be outbid for ad inventory, but there's a daily spending cap. So if your competitor already maxed out their ad spend, technically speaking, your cheaper ads could show up. However, you're taking a big risk here. You're assuming that there will still be inventory left over. If the market you're targeting is so narrow and so tightly defined, there might not be much of an ad inventory to fight over. In that situation, you can bet that your competitor will basically suck up all the available inventory and your ad won't show. Increasing your maximum ad spend per day. Given these realities, it's no surprise that Facebook constantly encourages advertisers to boost their daily ad limit. Put simply, it's saying that if you just raise your maximum ad spend limit per day, you can beat your cheaper competitors. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you will always be paying the top rates. The practical effect is that you're locking in on inventory. Of course, this all depends on how motivated your competitors are and how targeted your traffic is. Different forms of paid ads. Please understand that the ad bidding and auction system that I described above applies to all ads. It doesn't matter whether the ad appears on a mobile device or is actually a promoted story, which is part of a user's newsfeed. These are all paid ads. Accordingly, they all have to go through the bidding system. Factors that affect per-click value. Cutting close to home. Which key factors does Facebook consider that directly influence the amount of money you're going to have to pay per click? Please understand that there are many factors involved, but the bottom line is intensity and volume of competition. If your competitors are highly motivated, they will basically have a big budget across the board and try to beat you in every market at every time frame. However, with everything else being equal, the most important factor that affects pricing is the country of origin of the traffic. Other key factors that affect your per-click rate is the type of audience you're looking for. If there are a lot of advertisers competing over that same audience demographic, expect to pay a lot more. Also, where the ad is placed on a typical Facebook screen has a big impact on how much you're going to pay. The more prominent the ad, the more expensive it would be. By prominent, I mean that these are parts of the screen that people normally click on. Finally, your click-through rate plays a big role. If a lot of people see your ad, but very few would click through, you're going to get charged more. How come? Facebook suffers a big opportunity cost showing your ad. If it showed an ad that got a lot more clicks, it could make more money. That's the bottom line. To push advertisers to post more effective ads, click-through rate is factored into per-click price determination. This means that if you put up an ad that performs really well, your per-click rate goes down because Facebook is actually making more money off your ad. It doesn't have to show it a ridiculous amount of times for it to get clicked. On the other hand, if your ad sucks so much that very few people would want to click it, you can bet that Facebook will charge you your maximum ad budget every day. In many cases, Facebook would even stop your ad because it just performs so badly that it's not worth running. How to get started on your Facebook ad marketing campaign. What follows is an overview of the 6 general steps you need to take to run a Facebook ad campaign using the Facebook Ads Manager. Please understand that we're not going to be using Power Editor. We're going to be using the default Ads Manager Facebook makes available to the general public. Step number 1, create your Facebook page and your business account. Step number 2, access the Facebook Ads Manager. Step number 3, target your audience. Step number 4, create a Facebook ad campaign. Step number 5, create an ad and run your campaign. Step number 6, monitor your campaign carefully. Step number 1, create your Facebook page and your business account. If you're going to create a Facebook page for marketing purposes, you must first create a personal account. The account will then control the Facebook page. You're going to run ads on the Facebook page, but it is tied to an account. Once you have put up a page, you can then run ad campaigns. You will see Boost Your Post or Promote Your Page. When you click these, you get taken to Facebook Ad Manager. Create a personal account first, and then create a page. When you have a personal account, you can then log in and create a Facebook page. This is fairly straightforward. You just click the Create a Page tab, which is located on the upper right part of your account's dashboard. Fill in business details. If you have an existing business already, creating a Facebook page for your business isn't that mysterious. You basically just go down the list, business name, slogans. Even if you already have a website, you can post links to the content on your blog or your website to your page. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The key here is to start a Facebook page first based on your business name. Once you have that name, you can then click Get Started to commence the page creation process. It's all pretty straightforward. Facebook will just ask you step by step to type in information and will start to populate your Facebook page. I would suggest, however, that you don't do this on a whim. Don't do this if you have nothing else better to do. Instead, you have to plan on doing this. Make sure you go on places like Fiverr to get a professional Facebook cover done by a professional graphics designer. You should also have a writer craft some preliminary posts along with matching attention-grabbing graphics that are specific to your Facebook page. Please understand that your Facebook page is really the launching pad for your brand on Facebook. You can't just recycle content that you already have, or worse yet, slap together a page because, in the back of your head, all you're thinking about is you just want one to run one ad campaign after the other. While that may be true, you have to understand that your campaigns will still be tied to your page. You may be this close to sealing that deal, and it turns out that when people click to your incomplete or unprofessional official page, you just give them a reason not to do business with you. Don't let that happen to you. Make sure that when you set up a Facebook page, it is as professional as it could be. Step number 2, access the Facebook Ads Manager. Once you create a Facebook page, you can then create a Facebook Ads account. This would enable you to access the Ad Manager. If you're unclear, look at your Facebook page and look at the top right side. It should have some sort of downward arrow. Click on that and you'll see the option Manage Ads. When you click that, you go to your Ad Account page. On this dashboard, you will see the settings for your accounts. Click on the ad account you want to manage and then click on Account Settings. This option is available at the top part of the menu bar. Put in your physical address as well as the name of your business. If you have an assistant or you plan to have somebody else manage your ad campaign, you can look at the option Add Account Roles. Click on that and then select Add a Person. You should also set the type of access you want to give this person. The form will ask for their information like email address or full name, and then enter this in. The great thing about this system is that you don't put yourself in a situation where the security of your account will be compromised. The person you hire to manage your account will not have access to login details. Setting up payments. Look for the tab labeled Billing in your Ads Manager dashboard. Click on it and you will see Add Payment Method. Specify your preferred payment method and enter its details. Step number 3, target your audience. This is the meat and potatoes of Facebook Ad Manager. If you don't target the right audience, you are basically guaranteeing that your campaign will fail. No joke, real story. Think about it. Even if you have the very best ad you could come up with, if you put it in front of the wrong eyeballs, nothing is going to happen. Follow the steps below. Step number 1, Go to your Facebook page and access Audience Insights. When you go to your Facebook page, you will get access to a tool that will enable to profile people who already find you on Facebook. These are people who like your content. These are people who have liked your page and can possibly get notified of your page content updates. Open the Audience Insight dashboard. Take a look at your overall Facebook audience. Take a look at the people who are already part of your audience. Check out the People Connected to You page. To get some insight into your existing audience, you will get information on the type of content they like. You can also get some details regarding their preferences and demographic description. Alternatively, you can also select Everyone on Facebook. This is an option you can take to get information regarding possibly new eyeballs for your Facebook ads. Step number 2, create a target audience demographic profile. When you look at your Audience Insights dashboard, you will notice that it is split into 2 halves. On the left is the audience characteristics you may want to target. On the right side shows the charts and graphics related to your specific audience. Facebook then automatically compares your audience to the rest of Facebook's audience. This will show you how big your potential pool of customers is on Facebook. Refine the demographic profile you're targeting based on your existing audience insight or your consumer intelligence. For example, if you run a small local business and you know that your target customers are within the ages of 18 to 24, then you select that demographic age range. Also, select location. Please understand that you can both exclude as well as include. If you know certain areas where your competitors dominate, you may save a lot of money excluding those, so you don't spend any money trying to track eyeballs from those areas. Next, you need to select the interests of your audience members. In this case, it helps tremendously if you've already done some consumer intelligence on your target audience members. You can see that this area can branch off to finer and finer sub-details. You have to use your best guess regarding the interests of your customer. If your competitors or competing niche is featured here, use that. Finally, you may want to narrow things even further by using the advanced menu. Using this option, you can select by cultural group, job type, type of office the person has, education level, and relationship status. Step number 3, get insights on your existing audience's preferences. Go to the Page Likes tab on your dashboard. You will see a general range of interests that your selected audience already prefer on Facebook. This is based on their actual usage of Facebook. So this is profiled information. After you get a clear understanding of the pages they like, go to the top categories link, and then you will see their general interests. The key here is to start with the general interests of people on Facebook that may have something to do with your target niche. Test these out initially, and then look at the performance of your ads, so you can then narrow to even tighter interests. Please note that when you click on the Page Likes tab, you can see existing pages on Facebook that already attract the audience you're interested in. Step number 4, take a look at device, language, and location details. In the Location tab in Audience Insights, you can see the areas where most of your potential brand fans live. This will also let you know what language they speak. Click on the Activity tab and then check out their devices. Step number 5, use your first ad to target your audience. As long as you have an existing page fan base of over 1,000 people, you can run an ad for your Facebook page for research purposes. Basically, your first ad is going to test how you can target the people who already like your page. Click the Open in the top navigation bar and click on the Create Ad button. Specify the group of people you want to target, and then your Ads Manager will then automatically fill in these detail fields with data from Audience Insights. This is data that you pre-selected. Run this test campaign and see if you are hitting your target ROI or you are gaining valuable information. Please understand that when you use an ad to target your existing fans, usually people do this to get preliminary information and get up to speed. In other words, they're basically just going through the learning curve of getting familiar with the Facebook ad system and also getting the basics of targeting out of the way. Don't expect a home run with your first ad. Step number 4, create a Facebook ad campaign. In this video, I'm going to step you through the process of running an actual Facebook ad campaign. In the previous video, we concentrated on identifying your audience members. Please keep in mind that getting a clear idea of who your audience members are is not a one-time thing. It's something that you're going to have to constantly fine-tune and polish as your results come in. Don't think that just because you used Audience Insights and you have slightly over 1,000 page fans, that your targeting can remain unchanged. As you can imagine, the more popular your page gets, the higher the chance its audience profile may change. It may attract other people, and these individuals might actually be a better audience for your ads. In this video, I'm going to step you through the process of using Facebook Ad Manager to set up an actual ad campaign. First, you need to get on Facebook Ad Manager, click on the Campaigns tab, and then click on Create. This will get you going on launching a new Facebook advertising campaign. The first thing you will notice is that you actually have 11 different campaign objectives to choose from. Here are the options and quick descriptions of them. Store visits. Select this if you want to get physical visitors to your local physical store. Catalog sales. Run Facebook ads that connect directly to your online catalog, so if they like something, they can buy it from your store. Conversions. This is a fairly broad objective type that indicates the ad clicker doing a specific action. This can mean entering an email into a form to join a mailing list or buying the product you're selling. Messages. For this objective, you get people to connect with your business using your page's Facebook Messenger. You can automate your Facebook Messenger so that when people reach out to you, your messenger can send them promotional info. Depending on how they respond to the promotional info, Facebook Messenger can then send a follow-up. Lead generation. These ads try to get people to sign up for your mailing list, which then plugs them into a sales funnel. Once people get on your mailing list, you basically start sending them information to eventually try to get them to convert. Video views. People click on your ads and they see a video. The goal is to get as many people to view your video content as possible. App installation. When people click on the ad, they're given the opportunity to download and install your app. Engagement. This is an objective that basically just shows your content to a very wide audience so people can engage with your content like liking the posts, liking your page, or seeing a promotional offer and taking action on it. Traffic. This ad campaign seeks to drive clicks to your target website. Reach. This is purely an ad for exposure. The key is to get as many eyeballs as possible within your target audience. Brand awareness. If you're launching a new brand, this aims to just show your ad to a lot of people who may not be in your existing range of audiences. Or maybe you have an existing audience, but you have a new product or a new brand. Your brand is venturing into the same market as your existing audience. Or it could be the other way around. Pick the campaign objective that most tightly fits the outcome you're looking for the particular ad you will be using. Please understand that it's not always a tight fit. If you're trying to use video to get people to engage with your brand, your best bet would probably be to select video view instead of brand awareness. Once you have selected the objective, go to near the bottom of the page and select if you want to do an A/B split test. A/B split test is very important because you can run two ads at once and Facebook will alternate exposures for those two ads. Obviously, you're looking to see which of the ad gets the most clicks or most results. This is a great way of testing different ad designs. Also, you can select budget optimization. Using these two features, you can run different ad sets and see which of your ads perform best on Facebook using your target audience parameters. The great thing about this is you don't spend a lot of money. It has a budget optimization feature. You then look at the final numbers and then pour the bulk of your budget on the ad that actually works the best. Of course, that ad has to meet your minimum ROI or return on investment objective. If you have selected the engagement objective, you can choose whether to focus on event responses, page likes, or post engagement. Generally, people who use engagement are looking for page engagements, so their page fans can increase and the number of people who may possibly see their updates in the future grows. If you haven't set up an ad account by this point, you can click the Set Up Ad Account and enter your payment information so Facebook can start showing the ad. Select Ad Placement. Ad placements indicate where Facebook will show your ad. Generally, this is played out between desktop and mobile. The ad placements will feature the right column of the desktop newsfeed itself or the mobile newsfeed. If you select mobile, your Facebook ads can also show the Instagram platform. When people use the Instagram app, your ad can appear. Also, Facebook runs an advertising network called the Audience Network. These are mobile apps and websites that run Facebook's ads. You can also select for your ads to show on this extended network. Next, set up your budget and schedule. Once you've done the targeting and you have set up your ad, the next step is to select the budget. This will give you an average of how much money you'll be spending per day. You can also choose to keep it running indefinitely or end it at a specific date. I suggest that if you just started your Facebook ad marketing, you use the default settings offered by Facebook. Facebook will then run your ad continuously. I recommend this so you can monitor your ad and optimize in real time. You can always stop or pause the campaign and run another campaign. If you want to maximize your control over the process, you can set up beginning and end dates for your Facebook ad campaign. Pay for your campaign. There are different ways to pay for your campaign. You can pay by PayPal or credit card. Please keep in mind that you will be paying for ad performance based on the type of campaign you're running. You can run a cost per click or CTC campaign. In this situation, you will only get charged by Facebook if people click on your ad. Exposure campaigns. Alternatively, you can run a CPM campaign. Facebook will charge you a certain amount of money for every 1,000 times your ad shows up. Please understand that impression campaigns can show the same ad to the same person more than once. It is not unusual for one person to keep seeing the same ad over and over. Keep in mind that depending on the time frame involved, that person might be getting counted more than once. So although you're paying for 1,000 impressions, this doesn't mean that 1,000 different people have seen your ads. It may well turn out to be a very small group of people who are repeatedly exposed to your ad. You can always change Facebook's recommended price per 1,000 impressions. Please understand that this is your bid, and if you're bidding too low of a price, Facebook can stop displaying your ads because other advertisers are paying a higher price for the same spot. When do you get billed? Even though you selected a continuous payment system, Facebook will charge you depending on your selection. You can set up a threshold. Once your billable charges reach a certain threshold, then the charge will be reflected on your credit card or your PayPal account. If not, Facebook will just charge you at the end of the month. So whatever amount of bills you've racked up, Facebook will charge against your card on file or against your PayPal account. Check Advanced Budget Settings. Once you're familiar with Facebook, you can also try the Advanced Budget Settings to customize bidding and optimize your budget. Once you're satisfied with all the settings above, choose Ad Creative. This will start the process where you actually create your ad. Step number 5, create an ad and run your campaign. By this point, you should have reverse engineered your competitor's profile. You should have made educated guesses as to what kind of ads they run or which of their posts they have promoted. It's a good idea to go through all their pages' posts once again. Please understand that not all your competitors' ads will show up on their page. Facebook does allow for dark posts. These posts never appear on your Facebook page timeline. It's as if they don't exist. Keep this in mind. When you study your competitors' posts to look for indicators of success, like number of shares, number of likes, and comments, you're only seeing part of the picture. Still, this is better than nothing. As I have mentioned repeatedly in this training, you need to do reverse engineering or preliminary consumer intelligence to get a head start. Just because you did it once, it doesn't mean that you should stop there. You have to look at all your competitors. Get a general idea of what works and what doesn't work. You have to do this before you create a targeting plan for your ad. Otherwise, you shouldn't be surprised if your ad doesn't do all that well. Please remember that if you have absolutely no previous idea coming into the ad creation process, as well as the audience targeting dynamics of Facebook, your chances of failure are quite high. So a little bit of advanced preparation could go a long way. Now, this depends on your niche. Some niches are pretty much well represented on Facebook. It's very easy to see who your competitors are. A lot of them show their ads on their timelines, and you can pretty much figure them out. However, for the vast 90% of niches out there, you have to make more educated guesses. Just because some of your competitors are on Facebook, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have the best ads or that they know what they're doing. Still, this is better than nothing. In this video, you're going to learn how to create an ad and run it. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to how well you do in the following video. I'm going to instruct you on how to get started, but ultimately, how you optimize your ads will determine whether you will be successful or not. Create your Facebook ad. When creating an ad, remember to focus on the message. A lot of advertisers think that an ad has to be specific to a product or service. This is a common mistake. You have to remember that most of the time, before people buy anything, whether online or offline, they have to see a brand several times to develop some sort of familiarity. If you don't believe me, answer this question. When was the last time you bought something from a complete and total stranger? If you're like most normal people, the answer would be never. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money, at the very least, you would insist on some level of trust. It's not like some random person telling you a lie from the internet will get you to whip out your wallet and take out your credit card. Things normally don't work like that. It is all about building familiarity. Unfortunately, if your ads just focus on a product, that's not going to go far. In fact, in many cases, people would forget about the product. The better approach would be to focus on the overall message your brand represents. Are you there to help people get better sleep? Are you there to get people to live more comfortable lives? Is your business aimed at maximizing peace of mind? You have to operate at this level. And the good news is, you don't have to take shots in the dark. Look at what your competitors are doing. How are they playing this game? Do they focus too much on a product? How well did that do? Are they focusing on a general message that can lead to products? How do those compare? Once you have gotten this information, you can then take the next step, which is to choose between a completely new ad or promoting a post that is already on your page. Step number 1, choose among the type of ads you can run. Facebook accommodates a lot of different ad types. You can choose among the following depending on your overall objective. Lead ads. Lead ads are available solely on mobile devices. They are designed for a one-click subscription. Since people using mobile devices like tablets and phones can't be relied on to stop what they're doing and open a new page to enter their email address, Facebook has made it so much easier on them. They just need to click and the ad will supply you their information. Instant experience. These were formerly called canvas ads. These are full-screen ads that load really fast. Depending on the type of product or service you are promoting, this might be a good fit. Collection ads. These show your product or other products presented side by side. These ads are available only on mobile devices. When customers like what they see, they can click it and buy it instantly. This ad is only possible on mobile devices because on a desktop, you normally can comfortably fill out ad fields and forms. That doesn't work on mobile. Accordingly, sales collection ads are only available on mobile ads. Slideshow ads. These are videos that feature compilations of short video clips or still images. The key here is to grab attention while at the same time saving bandwidth. Even people with very slow internet connections can still see these ads. They attract quite a bit of eyeballs. Carousel ads. Carousel ads are a collection of as much as 10 video clips or photos of whatever service or product you are promoting. The great thing about carousel ads is they tend to be longer, so you have a lot more space and opportunity to present the benefits of your product as well as different features. This is a great way of explaining what your product brings to the table in an attention-grabbing way. Video ads. Video ads take two forms. You can highlight what your product is, like when people are using it, or it can simply be aspirational. You can even show scenes of people having a good time, people smiling, enjoying themselves, and then projecting your brand. Please understand that aspirational ads are not necessarily wastes of time. When was the last time you bought a Calvin Klein underwear product because Calvin Klein just showed a picture of the underwear on a page? Chances are never. Usually cologne, perfume, and fashion products are sold not so much to the images or video of the products themselves, but the lifestyle of the people that supposedly own those pieces of clothing. This is why Ralph Lauren or Calvin Klein fragrances often show people on vacation or in some sort of moody black and white scene. They're selling you a lifestyle or a mindset. That's what you're buying into. Well, the same dynamic applies for online video. It doesn't have to be literal. It doesn't have to just present your product and people enjoying different features of the product. Depending on your niche or product category, it might make more sense to advertise using aspirational or lifestyle videos. Photo ads. This is the most common Facebook ad. Basically, you show a picture and then there's a caption beneath. Facebook does have strict rules on how much text you can put on your photo ad. Generally speaking, the photo is supposed to draw attention long enough for people to read the title and the description and then make a decision whether to click through or not. Dynamic ads. Dynamic ads allow you to promote specific products to people who are more likely to be interested in them. This uses Facebook's very robust audience profiling and targeting system to create a match. It's not always effective, but with enough tweaking, this might work for you. Step number 2, design or lay out your ad. In this section of Facebook Ad Manager, you can select between promoting many different products that fall within the same category, or just one specific offer with one specific image. Once you have selected the pictures or video clips or single piece of content, the next step is to select the media you're going to use for your ad. You can choose between video, slideshows, or images. Facebook will step you through the process of creating carousel or multi-product ads and will prompt you for the images. Always create variations. When I first started on Facebook advertising, I just had one picture to promote one product and I had a fixed model text. As you can well imagine, my campaign did not do well. How come? Well, it was a one-trick pony. I only had one bite at the apple. With Facebook, you can actually choose as many as 6 images for the single ad. This makes a lot more sense because you get 6 chances at drawing attention and getting that click. Your ad campaign essentially gets 6 variations. You get 6 chances at getting the engagement you are looking for and getting the Facebook user to do what you want them to do. Always create more than one ad. I hope you know where I'm going with this. Don't just focus on creating one ad. You don't know how well that single ad would do. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. The better approach would be to create many ads. The more, the better. All are tied to different images. Run a test on them and set a fixed ad budget. So, once you cap how much money you will be spending on Facebook, usually I set this very low, you will quickly figure out which of the images are working, and then you should increase your budget to the most successful ad. Size and format recommendation. The image size for ads is 1200 by 628 pixels. I always use PNG format. What background color should you use? You should use a very vivid background. Please understand that your ad will show up on users' news feeds. You want something that would stand out. You want something that would grab attention. After you have selected the background, you are then ready to work on the text of your ad. Your choice of Facebook page is crucial. Please understand that Facebook doesn't just show your ad out of nowhere. It has to be connected to one of your Facebook pages. Make sure there is a strong thematic connection between the subject matter of your ad and the Facebook page you select to run the ad from. At the very least, if people are not ready or willing to buy the product or service you're promoting, they can at least click through to the Facebook page. Maybe you can get a like out of it. This gives you another bite at the apple, because the more likes your Facebook page has, the more eyeballs will see your posts when you get around to posting new content on your Facebook page timeline. Text ad writing tips. The next step in the ad creation process is to write the text portions of your ad. As important and as vital as the image portion of Facebook ads may be, your ad will live or die based on your text. Let's put it this way. You can have a picture that is very attention-grabbing, but pictures can only go so far. Forget what you've heard about pictures being worth 1,000 words. If people cannot make out what that picture means or what that picture leads to, you have just lost yourself a sale. You have just wasted your money on Facebook ads. It's very important because it draws eyeballs, but it has to lead somewhere. The payload is the headline and the text that will flesh out what the specific value of the ad is. Remember this question. People are always asking this question in any kind of sales scenario. What's in it for me? If your ad does not do a convincing job of answering that question, people are not going to click. People are not going to waste their time figuring out more information because they have better things to do. You have to make sure that every single character of text that your ad uses pushes the ad forward. What do I mean by that? Every character or every piece of text or symbol must deliver on the expectations or must appeal to the needs of your target user. The text is divided into 2 parts, headline and description. Headline. For headline text, you are limited to 25 characters. If you are advertising a post, on the other hand, you have 90 characters to work with. Headline writing success tips. The headline should be as short and punchy as possible. Assume that your reader doesn't have all the time in the world to figure out what you mean. Choose your words carefully. The shorter the text and the more emotionally impactful it is, the better. The headline should be short and effective. So in a very small space, you should make it abundantly clear what the headline is about. The secret here is to focus on benefits. In 4 words or less, what is the main benefit your product delivers? You then have 15 words for the description in the link. The 15 words should flesh out what you promised in the headline. The headline must attract attention while at the same time filtering the reader. The reader must immediately see what your product is about. Main text. The main text of the ad basically spells out and reiterates the value of your product. It follows through on promises you made in the headline. It fleshes out the description. Don't make the mistake of writing a mini essay. People don't care about that. People don't have the time or the resources to mess with that. Instead, pretend you're still pressed for space. So, in the main text, make sure that every single word counts. Every single word must back up and support what you've said before. It also must be so convincing in terms of value or curiosity that people are pushed to click the call to action button. Action buttons, also called call to action or CTA. This is the button intended to notify the user to take an action. This can be a line of text, a button, or an image. Your CTA must depend on what exactly you want the reader to do. For example, if you are selling a single product, the most fitting call to action would be get now, buy now, shop now. When they click this, you link them to your landing page. This is the page you control. This is the page that does the heavy lifting of selling the visitor and converting that person. There's a link beneath call to action that says Show Advanced Options. Click this. Put in a newsfeed link description. This will appear below your ad's headline. Make sure you check the preview of your ad. Always make sure that the preview is legit. Make sure it looks exactly the way you want it to look. Once you're happy with the ad created, click on Preview Order. This command will then show you all the campaign settings as well as your ad details. Go through each field very slowly and deliberately. Think about the consequences. Ask yourself, is this the best I could do, or are there other alternatives that I am overlooking? Once you are comfortable and confident with what you've done, click Place Order. Step number 6, monitor your campaign carefully. As I've mentioned previously, it's always a good idea to run several ads at once. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You may get all excited about a particular image. You might even think that it's the best thing since sliced bread. But that's just all in your head. Just because you think an image looks hot, it doesn't mean that everybody else will agree with you, least of which are your target audience members. Run many different images, but use the same headline text and the same call to action and the same landing page. Pick the winning ad and scale up. Ideally, you should just run 6 different images with the same ad, language, same call to action, and then a runaway winner will appear. I'm talking about an ad that just blows all other ads away. Maybe most of your ads would get 10 clicks. This ad got several hundred. That's how you know you have a winner on your hands. That's a runaway winner. The problem is, runaway winners are few and far between. Usually the difference between variations don't exceed 10 to 25%. You're lucky if it goes over that threshold. This is why I suggest that you keep running image variations until you get a runaway winner. That's when you know that the image is spot on. Optimizing beyond ad image. Now that you've found your runaway ad image winner, you should optimize all the other elements. Use the same variation process to create different text for the ads. Pick the runaway winner in terms of the ad descriptions, and repeat this process until you can't improve the click-through rate anymore. Next, you should optimize the landing page. This will impact your conversion and make variations of the different landing pages. Effective Facebook advertising tips and ideas. Carry out the tips below to optimize your FB campaign and scale up your success. Ride your best ads to their logical conclusion. Keep running your best ads until they no longer meet your performance targets. Proof your post ads before spending money on them. Facebook allows you to promote your post on their system. Just because you think a post is hot, it doesn't mean that you should go ahead and spend cash promoting it on Facebook. Do yourself a big favor and post it on your timeline and see how many shares, comments, reactions, and other engagements you get. If it looks like a winner because it's so well received, then you should spend money on it. This way you proof your ad post ahead of time. You're not coming out of right field. You're not conducting some sort of wild experiment. You may need to build up your page first to pull this off successfully. Make sure you have a budget buffer. Make sure you split up your advertising budget in a way that can adequately fund your experimentation and the whole Facebook ad optimization process. You should also set aside the bulk of your advertising money for scaling up your formal ad campaign. This is how you maximize your ad budget dollars. If you set this up properly, you actually save money because Facebook will run your ad more often if it gets a lot of clicks from your ads. Before you give up on an ad set, give it one more try. If you failed many times, you have to keep trying many times. Well, if you're sure that your ad campaign is a bust, despite its initial success, take a look at the big picture. In the beginning, your ads may have been doing really well because you picked the right image. Your ads were getting the right attention. The problem is, there is such a thing as banner blindness. When consumers keep seeing the same banner over and over again, they reach a point where they no longer see it. That's right, it's as if your banner doesn't exist. This may be the case. If you look at your ad performance and it was doing really well in terms of ROI in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it starts to drift down and eventually it drops off a cliff, you might want to change the image associated to your ad to cure banner blindness. Personally, I've turned around many of my campaigns just by using this simple trick. It seems basic, it even seems obvious, but it's very effective. Always test your ads in context. It's very easy to just test and optimize an ad based on the same ad's performance. For example, if you're running your first ad, it's very easy to do this because you can see which of the ad variations is doing really well. But when you do this, you're just comparing the ad against its own performance. This works the first few times. But if you've been running ad campaigns on Facebook for an extended period of time, or you've spent quite a bit of money on your ads, compare them against each other. Don't compare an ad set against itself. You may get the wrong impression. You may be thinking that you're doing really well, but it turns out that historically you're underperforming. This is why you have to always look at the context of your campaigns. Your campaign is not just some sort of free-form campaign that is floating out there. You must connect it with what went on before. Remember, you're trying to appeal to the same set of eyeballs. Unless you are dramatically shifting your target audience, you are essentially still trying to appeal to the same people. That is the context. And if something worked with them in the past, chances are it will work with them again in the future. The key is to break this down to basic principles or elements and apply those principles and elements to your new ads. There is no way to measure the success of that strategy unless you compare the performance of these later ads with the ones that came before. Repurpose your content and see if it improves your results. You may think that you're doing really well with post ads or picture ads, but you shouldn't leave any money on the table. What I mean by this is that if there is a format that converts better, there's really no reason why you shouldn't take a chance at presenting those type of ads. If your post ads are doing really well, why not turn them into a video? Create a video and run a video ad campaign. You may be in for quite a bit of a shot. It may well turn out that your otherwise stellar performance using text ads will suddenly go through the roof presented in video form. Of course, you shouldn't adopt a one-time big-time mindset when repurposing or presenting content in a different format. Don't think that just because you converted your most popular, most effective ad content into a video and it failed, then that is the end of the story. No, you might just have created a wrong video. Maybe you just picked the wrong snippet. The key here is to use the optimization process that I have taught you in other parts of this training and apply them to your ads, regardless of its format. You optimize a video ad the same way you optimize an image ad. Keep tweaking it until you get the outcome you're looking for. Remember, it's all about conversions. It's very easy to define success on Facebook's advertising system strictly in terms of clicks. I'm telling you, if this is your mindset, you're setting yourself up to fail. Almost anybody can set up a campaign where an ad would get a lot of clicks. But last time I checked, clicks don't put money in your bank account. Focus on the bottom line instead. Focus on sales or behaviors closely related to sales like lead generation, mailing list recruitment. Conclusion. Make no mistake, mastering the Facebook advertising system is neither quick nor easy. It also isn't cheap. You need to maximize every single second you spend trying to figure out Facebook's advertising platform. You have to make it produce value. The good news is, if you have the right attitude and you really allow yourself to learn Facebook's ad system backwards and forwards, you gain a tremendous competitive advantage. Most people aren't able to figure it out. This is why they outsource this type of work to some other expert or consultant. Let me clue you in on a secret. Most of those experts and consultants are just faking it until they make it. They're just as clueless as their clients. Sure, people are paying them upwards of $5,000 to $10,000 a month, but at the end of the day, the results that they produce really aren't worth writing home about. Since you have devoted your precious time to learning Facebook's ad system, you need to go all the way. This will enable you to put together a plan and a strategy that is battle-tested. This strategy will be tried and proven and will enable you to maximize the results you get from this platform. Nobody can take that away from you. This will be your most valuable asset. Unfortunately, this is an asset that you build one day at a time and after a lot of hard work. But believe me, it's more than worth it.